I'm about to flip the script, flip the switch, magic trick, watch this, watch this. I'm about to make you trip, make you glitch, camera click, watch this, watch this. I put it like gold, check out the view. Out with the old, and in with the new. I'm in my new era. I'm better in my new era. I'm better in my new era.
Good afternoon, everybody. A very warm Devon welcome to Sandy Park and to this round 14 weekend, which some of you eagle-eyed PWR fans will may have noticed is basically our opening weekend of the season in flip reverse. And so we are here to take in this tasty encounter as third place Exeter Chiefs take on the travelling London All-Stars, Trailfinders women, who themselves sit fifth in the table, in a match that will really shape how the final season placings will turn out as the playoff race hots up for all those eyeing a spot in the top four. It's Exeter Chiefs against Trailfinders women. Well, hello, hello. Thank you very much for joining us. I hope you have gone out and been to the gym, washed the car, rearranged your sock drawer, whatever life admin you needed to do, because from Men's International through to a blockbuster weekend of PWR action, there is plenty to enjoy. We also have the company of someone that has been there and done that. 2 Rugby World Cups, coach of Gloucester Hartpury, 5 years here at Exeter Chiefs. Afternoon, Susie Appleby.
Good afternoon, Nick. How exciting is it to be here in the sunshine? It's a miracle.
I'm taking my coat off and everything. Yeah, it's absolutely brilliant. What about this weekend of action? We were just chatting before we came on air about that game last night, Loughborough Lightning against Harlequins. If we just look at the fixtures actually for this weekend, we can see confirmation of that result. Loughborough, well, they flipped the 10-point loss from round one at the Stoop to a 43-33 win at Cinch Stadium at Franklin's Gardens last night. 7 tries to bag all 5 points. Quinn's managing a try-scoring bonus point. You liked it, didn't you?
I really, really enjoyed it. The fact that it's Friday night and you get to watch rugby is just amazing, but it was always going to be a brilliant encounter, and it certainly lived up to expectations. Brilliant for Loughborough. I'm always urging Loughborough to just be who we know they can be, and they really were all over it last night. So
yeah, how much do you think the reintroduction of Helena Rowland is working?
Huge. And Sadie has missed a few games. She was critical. I already mentioned it. Daisy Hibbert-Jones was just everywhere, making turnovers, giving try-scoring passes. All the plaudits obviously going to the try-scoring ability on the wing, but you know there was an awful lot of brilliant stuff, and Helena pulling the strings was imperious. Yeah,
she was. Other games this weekend, of course, Sale Sharks are hosting Leicester. Sorry, they go to Leicester Tigers, I should say, after their important 2-point win over Loughborough Lightning last weekend. And Sunday, well, of course, it's another massive match as Saracens, the last team to beat Gloucester Hartpury, are hosting Gloucester Hartpury, a rerun of last year's final. What an absolute belter that promises to be. Susie and I are going to talk a lot more Exeter Chiefs and Trailfinders in just a few moments. But first of all, let's hear from the coaches ahead of this one and see how they're feeling. Well, Steve, a big encounter and the chance to get a win on the board after a couple of tough losses.
Yeah, 100%. Really, really excited. 2 fully loaded teams. Beautiful day. Couldn't really ask for any more.
When you look at those 2 losses, obviously against the 2 top teams in the league, do you sweat much over them?
You don't really have time to. You know, you obviously in the moment you're disappointed. You want to make sure the players are okay, and you want to make sure that come Monday morning you're pointing in the right direction again. You know, there's a reality at the moment that everyone that plays those 2, or you know, if you come away with points, you've probably done something right. As frustrating as that is, what it does do is it gives us a marker for where we need to get to. And days like today are really important, because I look at this Ealing Trailfinders lineup today, and it's absolutely loaded with top players. And you know, if they keep going the direction that they're going, I would imagine their hope is that they're going to get to the stage where they're challenging the Glossers and the Saracens of this world as well. So, yeah, disappointed, but you know, part of the journey, and as is this, and this is what our minds are on.
Yeah, and you've got the chance to welcome back those couple of hookers back into the lineup. Plenty of talent in your side as well. I think you talked midweek, and I think we're all saying it's ultimately a 10-pointer at this sort of part of the season. You want to be chasing those top 2 and not getting dragged into a dogfight behind you, right?
Well, yeah, it is, and like I watched the Loughborough Quins game last night, which first of all was an absolutely brilliant game of rugby. But you know, Loughborough went into that, you could argue, in disappointing form in terms of, I think they'd lost their 3 games. Three games, but watching them last night, you would never have thought that. I thought they were absolutely outstanding against a phenomenal Quins team. So we've got this sort of group of maybe 6 teams in the sort of middle of the league that on any day can beat each other. So that creates jeopardy, and I think jeopardy creates excitement, and that's what you want for the competition. So this is very much like that game last night. I've no doubt it can go either way. It's going to be about who performs the best.
All right, we wish you the very best of luck.
Thanks, mate.
Well, Barney, thanks for joining us. The sun's shining, an opportunity for a few of your sports cars to come out of the garage.
Yeah. No, again, finally a bit of sun on a Saturday for a game day. No, we're very happy with the weather and stuff. So yeah, looking forward to it massively.
Yeah, you've got the opportunity to roll out Tanya Kalunivali, Meg Jones as well, 2 massive names. Tell me about the excitement of having them back.
Yeah, obviously they've both had quite significant injuries as such, so it's really good to get them back. Obviously Meg is a massive part of this group, and again Tanya's come across from New Zealand. She's been class since she's been here, so they're very unfortunate with a couple of their injuries, but it's really good to see them back out on the pitch.
You came down here last night, had the chance to get yourself in here this morning. How do you see this one going? What do you need to see from your Trailfinders side?
It's going to be a massive battle. Again, probably off the back of Chiefs' kind of form, and our form's it's been up and down as such. So again, it's look at the table and how tight that is in that area. So yeah, it's a huge battle today.
Yeah, and you're probably sick of talking about when cohesion's going to happen, but it's I guess been the nature of this all-stars side that you have. How are you seeing that develop?
Yeah, no, it's been going really well. It's hard. We've had obviously a fair amount of injuries as such, so we've kind of brought people in and out, etc. But no, we want to get that team cohesion as best we can.
We look forward to seeing it out there. Good luck today.
Thank you. Cheers.
Well, great to hear from Steve Salvin and from Barney Madison. Susie, this encounter, it's Fortress Sandy Park. We know what Exeter Chiefs are capable of. They're welcoming back their 2 hookers, Gleena Maloney-McDonald and Emily Tutosi, who weren't available last week. That, to me, just sort of symbolises the recruits that they're able to roll out in a game like this.
You know, those 2 sadly have picked up a couple of knocks, but they're now back a little bit earlier than I anticipated, and it's hugely important for them. Line-out's been struggling a little, but which is unheard of in Chiefs land and not acceptable. So I know there'll be a lot of, not relief, because they won't count the chickens, but there'll be some fine details looked at this week, and they'll be hoping to amend what hasn't been great the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, and as we mentioned, they're in 3rd place. Trailfinders are in 5th. Trailfinders have, set targets at points of looking for top 4. In the position that they're in now, how vital is that to their success this season, do you think?
The feeling I get, and from watching them, is that they're growing. I think the stats speak for themselves. They're getting more entries into that red zone, gold zone, whatever you want to call it, but at the moment aren't converting, and I know that's been a real work on for them, having chatted to Kim in the week, the assistant coach. So they're growing in confidence. They've got players back. They had a tricky start because they were effectively strangers to each other, weren't they? Right. And now, they're probably going to look like, for the next few weeks, what we would expect Trailfinders to look like. However, and this is the big however, they've got a tough run in. They've got a tough few games. They will relish the opportunity of playing against big teams, especially the likes of Meg Jones coming back in with all the internationals all around her. So listen, it's a really exciting time, I think, to be in the Ealing Trailfinder camp. I don't think there's expectation, but that means they can just get out and play, and that's massively exciting. Yeah,
it certainly is. You mentioned that run in there. Exeter Chiefs, they're away to Leicester in round 15, then they have a bye, then away to Bristol, home to Sale. So 3 more games after this to get those points on the board. Trailfinders are at home to Quins next week, followed by Loughborough, then home to Gloucester Hartpury, and away to Saracens. That game next Friday is already whetting the appetite, isn't it? But we better not get ahead of ourselves, ultimately, should we?
No.
Because it's all about Exeter Chiefs against Trailfinders today. It's also a fixture where we've got quite a number of Black Ferns turning out. 4 in the camp as far as Trailfinders are concerned, and of course 1 starting in the front row for Exeter Chiefs. And we were delighted that Caroline caught up with the Exeter Chiefs front rower, Amy Rule, to find out if she knows a couple of the visitors coming to town.
Amy Rule, we're about to play Trailfinders, but at the start of this season you made your PWR debut for us against Trailfinders at their place. What do you think you've learned from that game?
Yeah, it feels like a lifetime ago, that first game. I think my biggest learning would have to be week in, week out, we're actually coming up against very different oppositions, so it's kind of being able to process the game pretty quickly and move on to the next job, because obviously it's a long season ahead, and obviously we do want to get the win, and I feel like we've had a little bit of a roller coaster of a season, but each game's not be all end all. I feel like back home, because it is short season, we're like, we need results. So I think it's been in a space okay with some draws. Okay, I say, but yeah, I think being able to process the game but switch on because you've got another job following week.
Harder?
No, I love it. I love playing rugby, so I've really enjoyed it. So overall, yeah, it's been epic.
And Trailfinders also have two of your very good friends, Alana Borland and Georgia Ponsonby, who you used to be housemates with. What's it like playing against them?
Yeah, that first game was weird. Coming off the bench, I was definitely seeking for them to see if I could put on a wee cheap shot, but I don't know. It's going to be interesting. Like now that I've seen them play for a wee while and actually can analyse them and see if there's any opportunities for us. But yeah, I think it's cool to see my friends doing great and enjoying their time there. But when we get onto the pitch, they're not my friends.
The three of you obviously signed long-term contracts. You came for the whole year, whereas there's been some Black Ferns who've come in just for injury cover, 3 months. Why did you decide to, let's go for it, let's just go for the whole hog?
Yeah, I can speak for myself. I think I'm really fortunate. I've been through 2 World Cups. I've had an incredible time with the Black Ferns. I've loved my time with New Zealand Rugby. I just think PWR was just calling my name in the sense of I wanted to play more rugby. I wanted to live overseas. I want to see the world. I want all the experience and opportunities that it has to offer. But yeah, I think the big reason was the games.
The PWR was calling my name. Well, it's the estuary just over from Sandy Park that's calling our name. You were jogging around that earlier, Susie Appleby, weren't you?
I certainly was. On this beautiful, beautiful, at last, spring morning.
Yeah, exactly. It's been a lovely start to the day. And, well, the shadows on the pitch will tell you, because we have got perfect conditions down here at Sandy Park. And we can now have a look at the 2 lineups. The side Steve Salvin has picked for this one. And what a difference a week makes. Forced to take 2 of their reserve hookers to the home of the champions, not to Kaylee Priest, the 19-year-old, who had to play 75 minutes last week. But no such need this week. Both Cleona Maloney-MacDonald and Emily Tutosi back into the match day 23. One other change to the starting pack sees Blackfern, Amy Rule, who we just heard from, into the front row. Otherwise, it's as you were, with Maisie Allen alongside captain Emily Robinson and Maddie Faianati in that back row. The only change in the backs sees Italian international Francesca Granzotto come into the right wing as Katie Buchanan takes a bench spot. As for the visitors, well, we heard from Barney Madison, and, well, he's had 3 weeks to get the team ready for this one. Big rotation of players after that beating of Leicester Tigers, an off week and a bye week, and now a side with plenty to offer. 4 Blackfern World Cup winners, no less. Ponsonby, Kalunivale, Roos and Borland in a pack boasting club captain Kate Zachary and World Cup winning Red Rose Abby Burton. The backline boosted by the return of Meg Jones. Magic Meg running out for the first time in 2026 and guaranteed to bring her, well, usual blend of skill of invention. She partners Welshwoman Caris Cox outside Bradley and Gallagher. Finishing prowess comes from Laughlin, Grace White and Neve Gallagher, while on the bench Emma Wassell, one of the good humans we expect to see later on. Susie, what do you make of both lineups who've set themselves out for this?
Well, gosh, they're so strong, aren't they? Exeter Chiefs, I would say they're pretty much at full strength. You've touched on it, Nick. Ailing Trailfinders being able to now call upon, at last, the likes of Meg Jones and bring tight head props of that kind of calibre back into the starting lineup in Tanya Kalunivale. Wow. If you look at the matchups, you can't pick any. There's so many across the board, whether it be line-out prowess, whether it be back three competitiveness, whether it be 13 on 13. Wow, that's amazing. A repeat of the World Cup final. So, listen, you can look everywhere on those two team sheets and just get so very excited.
Well, here come Trailfinders. Came down last night, got themselves acquainted with the locality. I'm told they were offered a little joint social tonight, but, well, they've got a shorter turnaround for next week. Maya Kawani Kaulani Roos, one of those into the side. Tanya Kalunavali as well, as they both embrace right on cue. Their time in the PWR will come to an end before the Women's Six Nations. They will keep hold of Georgia Ponsonby and Alana Borland for the rest of the campaign. And Exeter Chiefs then out to join us. Linda van der Velden, one of those who has been working her socks off. I asked the club this week if there's anybody among the pack who you think's tearing up trees, who maybe isn't being given their flowers at the minute, who might it be? And the answer without hesitation, it's always Linda van der Velden.
Her defensive stats are through the roof. I mean, as you're aware, Nick, she was my very first signing. She's grown in strength upon strength. And this season, she's really, really good.
Richard Gordon's our referee, then assisted by Tash Ganley and Simon Adams. Third against fifth. The last meeting, Trailfinders only managed 6 entries into the 22. So unrefined and unrehearsed was their attack. They only had 41% of the ball and 28% of the territory. They'll be hoping for a different story this afternoon as the Chiefs keep it in hand initially from kick-off as they build to their first exit. Fired back for Tessier, who will keep it simple.
Well, that's an important settler, isn't it? So, you know, they went straight down the middle of the restart. Flo doesn't pick it up cleanly. However, just nice and calm, settled, set a ruck, and they get their exit on point. Really good kick straight to the halfway line.
Voice of Susie Appleby, who is with us, former head coach at Exeter Chiefs for 5 years. Rugby World Cup scrum half. Full of suitable chatter that we have to employ her on the PWR. Now then. Trailfinders with Burton. No doubt enjoying having her Red Rose mate, Meg Jones, back in the lineup. Then it's there for Borland. And of course, some of these names were there in that round 1 game, but so fresh were they to Premiership Women's Rugby. How much did they know of what they need to bring? Is it test match intensity? Is it a little under that? Well, it's not far off when you speak to a number of these players. And perhaps now a few more of those Black Ferns are ready to bring their A+ game to big encounters like this.
That's really interesting for me, Nick. We talked about it pre-match, not getting stuck around that halfway line and whether they might go for a different type of attacking, kicking game. We see there Jonesy just stick it on the toe, looking to cross-field kick to her winger. Didn't come off on that occasion, but I think that might be something that they're looking to employ.
Just hold, please. We need you to be in the middle, please, Hooker. You're standing right on your team here.
Clean Maloney McDonald. 49 caps for Ireland. Will she bring up the 50 when that Women's Six Nations gets underway in round 1? Top tier of Allianz Stadium is open. If you haven't got your tickets for that one, make sure you do. Flo Robinson doing the tidy up job at the back of that scrum. Then Maloney McDonald will hand it away to Exeter Chief number 1, Linda van der Velden. McGovern waits. Will put the ball on the toe when needed, but that time it's going to be heaved away to 59 cap USA Eagle Hope Rogers. And the tackle was a little high, and so the Chiefs will get the penalty.
In these opening exchanges, Nick, we can already see the intent around the breakdown area. Ealing Trailfinders clearly want to go after Chiefs breakdown. They are known, Exeter Chiefs, for their speed of ball, and if they get speed of ball, they're absolutely lethal. So very critical whether they make good decisions around going after the breakdown.
There'll be lots of people watching on who understand speed of ball, perhaps some others who don't. We're not talking about the rapidity of the ball through the air in the pass. It's how quickly you can get the ball off the ground from each of those rucks.
Yeah, absolutely.
The best in the business, the likes of Saracens with Liv Apps, the likes of Gloucester Hartpury with Mo Hunt, have a ruck speed of 2.993 seconds around that sort of area. Gives you the chance to keep going and running at a defensive line that's having to get backwards. That's another penalty that goes the way of the Chiefs, though, and this is already showing shades of what we saw in the round 1 encounter between the two. Against Gloucester Hartpury. Exeter Chiefs had 8 entries into the 22, getting 20 points. Fernati. Wanting the team to drive on her. Such an historic area of strength for the side as they all put their bodies in to get there. Claudia Maloney-MacDonald in there as well. And to ground it goes. It's the wife who comes up with the ball. Claudia Maloney-MacDonald, scorer of her second PWR try of the season. And that was as vintage as Exeter Chiefs as you like.
Absolutely. We'll see the replay coming now. Maddie Fernati rising high, and that's something that she has added to her skill set and strength to enable her to add value to herself in terms of that England selection as well as her club selection. And from there, it's just process driven. Can they be on point? Little hesitation, but then it's business as used to be the case. And we get near that try line, there were never any doubt about where the Chiefs were going over. And they'll be really pleased with that. A very patient build-up. Yes, a couple of probably unforced errors from Ealing Trailfinders, giving away pens on back-to-back occasions. And you can't do that against Chiefs because they're going to go to what has been, and they will now be determined to get back to their super strength, their driven line-out.
Kick slotted from Liv McGovern. Chiefs 7 points to the good. Just the start that Steve Salmon and co would have wanted. Robinson just loses it, but it was backwards. You hear the referee emphasise. Rachel Malcolm getting in with the tackle. Looking to go short side again, set themselves up with this similar position to the clearance we saw after the first kick. Meg Jones is doing her best to keep that in field. She's managed it as well. Little snipe around the fringes. Zachary popping it up. Well, that was a little bit of kidology there from Kate Zachary, recognising that players on the wrong side might be worth pointing out with a little trip. The referee has the hand out, then it's smuggled back. Laughlin joining the line off Jones. Grace White, not a lot of room to operate in. Brooke Bradley. Back in for Karis Cox. Referee senses not an awful lot's coming, so we'll go back for the penalty.
Yeah, you talk about Kate Zachary milking it a little. I think Brooke Bradley also. A lot of it is, Nick, it's how you get used to the ref and get him on side early on. And we've all played rugby. We all know about getting the ref in your pocket or whatever you want to talk about, whatever you want to call it. But, you know, keeping him on side, but making him not have to make too many decisions is the key. Keep him out of the game the best you can. And that's the message that we deliver as coaches, or have delivered as coaches. And on that occasion, then you can just roll the dice. They've rolled the dice. They're coming back now to their opportunity for their first line out.
Ponsonby looking to offer a little bit of Exeter Chiefs medicine to the hosts at the other end. Not quite getting the go forward they might have liked to keep that trucking. So Ponsonby will smuggle it back for Bradley. Meg Jones, oh, she looked to try and sell the one on the outside, but just lost a bit of control. If there are any players in World Rugby to whom you will generously allow a couple of errors for whatever magic they're about to create, Meg Jones is probably top of that list.
Well, Jonesy's been off the field for quite a long time now, and however world class you are, you can't just hit the ground totally running at a sprint, which is what she'll be wanting to do. But she'll shelve that. She'll put that away. She won't let that distract her what's coming next. But a really positive start. The line out was on the move. They had an opportunity, and they will create more opportunities.
Crouch. Bind. Sit. Stay high.
Penalty, Chiefs.
3 straight to knee. 3 to knee.
And much as we talked about moments in games, Ealing Trailfinders had an entry into the 22. They've increased their number of entries, but weren't able to capitalise. And then on the back of that, Chiefs would be really pleased with that first scrum. Absolutely moving forward, and now they find themselves with another opportunity on the halfway line.
Sorry if the wall went up for that, but it hasn't turned out. It's come down the way of the Trailfinders, so a chance to strike here, and running full tilt goes Scottish captain Rachel Malcolm. That's a nice ball back inside for Kalunivali. Ponsonby then gets it away for Borland. Offload game working. Tessier will look to put the pressure on Jones. But the high tackle, penalty advantage. Oh, and Meg Jones is going to take this quickly and is just going to stick it on the toe to bounce into the 22. Determined not to play too much rugby in this middle third of the field.
It's an interesting one, that one for me. You know, you've got a straight arm, you've got a penalty, and yet you choose to give the ball back to a team that is very strong around that line-out area. So, yeah, not playing in your own half, but we're almost attacking into the 22.
All play on.
They free their hands. Away again, Maya Montiel, Canadian international, signed in that first week of the season. Zachary is an option. It was a tough one for Zachary to take. A little high from Bradley. She'd have loved it right into the belly to carry into the Exeter Chiefs. They dealt with it. Malcolm into the phase play in this area of the field. Grace White has pulled right out to the near touchline. Not sure that any of the forwards even know she exists at this point, because they've got one thing in mind: pick and go, and try and catch this Exeter Chiefs defence cold. Abby Burton is well repelled, but they come again. Trailfinders. There again, big collision. Rule into her Blackfern compatriot. And now there's a penalty advantage coming. And can the Trailfinders use this? They keep pointing the way that the next carrier needs to go. It's a little more lateral than it's making ground here. Will they go back from where they came? Kalunivali again. Wall waits for the big pink scrum cap, and it's Celtic woman on Celtic woman as she stops Rachel Malcolm. Can they find their way to the line here?
On the line, on the line.
Driving low again, oh, and that is the score. Alana Borland gets it down. She may be known for her defensive efforts over the course of this season, but that was Trailfinders in just the attack mode they needed. Pick and go style, cohesion, and the score.
They will be so pleased with that execution, Nick. As we've mentioned already, they've increased the number of entries from 11, they're up to 15 in terms of their 22 entries. However, they haven't been converting them. And again, speaking to Kim Oliver yesterday, she talked about the word relentless. They want to be relentless in their attack against the try lines, like other teams at the top of the table are. Now, we've just seen them be really patient. If they pick and drive, the likelihood of gaining themselves a penalty is very, very high because of the indiscretion of the defending side. And they were playing advantage, but they've managed to maintain that multi-phase possession, and it results in them quite deservedly getting over the line. Really, really good patience, well created, and they'll be really pleased, and they're back in the game.
Niamh Gallagher has the conversion. We're all square. Referee's just needing to get his microphone pack sorted out. Richard Gordon is all ready to go.
And perhaps I was unfair on Jonesy, Nick. They just turned over Chiefs' line on the halfway line. She then tapped and played, but pushed Exeter Chiefs back under pressure on their own line out, and they gave up possession again. So, world-class player, world-class actions.
Yeah, drew that first penalty, didn't it? Which they came back for. Good carry from Caris Cox.
Stop in front.
Tessier on the shoulder from Poulin.
Retreat black.
Down the channel. Looking at the options, Claire
Retreat
Gallagher. Back from playing on the 7th circuit, now picked up by Tessier's. Looking to try and find where the space might be to play into.
Go, 6-6.
Now the chase is on into the backfield. Support line was good for Poulin from Tessier. Now looking crossfield. This is a fascinating chess game of who's going to find the space. Laughlin, sense that she will be up for the running in return, and Laughlin does well. Rangy winger, then Kalunivale to do a bit more of the up-front grunt, give them this middle strike position, and it's Ponsonby. Just had to check the feet. Ball presentation was good under pressure. Gallagher, then Jones. Jones steps around one, and that was just a little bit of confusion, and Caris Cox gets in the way. Accidental obstruction, but sufficient enough. It draws the penalty. But that was, well, interesting passage of play from both teams.
It certainly is, and in that kick battle or kick exchange, whatever you want to call it, you're looking for the backfield to change their positioning. Now, Niamh Gallagher did really well. She found grass in the backfield. She made Poulin turn around. Potential forward pass. Oh.
Well, it's stayed alive again here. Combination of White and Gallagher. Niamh Gallagher once more.
Ball's here.
Chiefs went for everything from that penalty, but it didn't work out for them. How much running are we going to see Trailfinders do from here? As Laughlin joins the line. Oh, it was a trickier one to take, and Cox has spilled it. It's risk and reward. That time they risked it, and they're going to find themselves under pressure here.
Yeah, and again, that's an interesting one. What's the messaging from the coaching team? Risk versus reward. You just touched on it, Nick. They've just absorbed quite a lot of pressure in terms of that defensive set, and yet they then choose to attempt to run exit. Now, if it comes off and you've got a two-way on and score at the other end, you're the hero. However, they're going to have to defend a scrum in an amazing position, a right-hand scrum. Chiefs have pulled all their players to the left-hand side. What are they looking at in terms of that defensive picture? Whereabouts can they expose? They were playing lots of plays from right-hand scrums in the warm-up, so be interested to see how they try to expose this space.
Viv McGovern waiting to receive this from Flo Robinson. She will know she's got a World Cup winning red rose on her left wing on the far side of the field. And it's Wall from the free kick. It's not going to be Van der Velden this time. They thought it was, and it's Feonati in the next channel over. Makes some good meters. Then cutting back in. Another excellent carry. Now for McGilvray. McGovern waits. Option of Poulin, which she takes. That's a good double hit from Jones and White. Then Alpha Hope Rogers. Such a keen campaigner down here.
Ball's available. Don't push it into the
50 tries for Exeter Chiefs. Hope Rogers. strengthen the tackle from Gallagher. That was good from Tessier, just holding the defence. Chiefs getting closer again. Robinson getting the bodies out the way, wanting to serve Tessier once more. Was held that time by Niamh Gallagher. Now popped up. Rogers again, bowling straight through Zachary, her countrywoman. Decision for the referee to make at ruck time, and it's going to be a penalty in favour of the Chiefs as Trailfinders try and slow it down. Maisie Allen goes for the thrust. Chiefs going in search of try number 2 here. Dorothy Wall, accompanied by Van der Velde, and then they're just stopped short again. Thrusting for the line, looking for the line. Is it Maloney McDonald with another one? It sure is. Back into the starting lineup, back into the scoring straights. Cleaner Maloney McDonald. Second one for the Chiefs.
Well, she's back with a vengeance, isn't she, old Clean Maloney McDonald? You can see, and this is what happens when you play against top sides with such massive physicality. Huge pack, huge players. And those carries, there was Hope Rogers getting through a couple of immense carries, which puts you massively on the front foot. And we talked about it earlier, Nick. We talked about speed of ball. That doesn't mean the ball transfer between players. It means that the ball carrier has made post-contact meters potentially. Their support player has then cleared the ruck and enabled the first player to arrive, normally the scrum half, to clear the pass away really quickly. All these actions enable Chiefs to be able to identify space somewhere on the field. Now, on that occasion, it was a pick and drive. It was through their power players. But if you go through multi-phase, potentially the space opens elsewhere. But Clea will be really pleased with that. You know, she's been off for a couple of weeks. You can see she's keen to get, not just on the scoreboard, but get hands on ball and have an effect on the game.
She's a no-nonsense player, isn't she? Elfibri, who was into the mix last week, ended up having to leave the field after 5 minutes. Kaylee Priest, the 19-year-old, stepping up to play 75 minutes. A week later, Steve Salvin praising the effort of Priest.
Don't hold it in like that.
Saying she's going to learn, she's going to make mistakes, and of course that's the development of these young players. But to be able to then bring back Cleaner Maloney McDonald, and on the bench Emily Tutosi. Now then, this is Niamh Gallagher. Jones on the outside, shaped up to pass. Everyone ready to look for Jones, but took it into contact. There again for Ponsonby. Bradley's got in there to try and get that out. Penalty goes against the Irishwoman Dorothy Wall. Fascinating to see where that Irish international team are in just a few weeks for that World Cup opener.
Yeah, it really will. And, you know, a lot of selections are happening this coming week, aren't they? I think England are going to look at theirs on Friday. Scotland similar, and these players want to put their hands up. They want to put themselves in the frame for the Six Nations selection. And on the other side of the world, there's a Pac 4 competition going on. There's lots of big competitions coming up. These players want to be involved with those.
Yeah, Pacific 4, Australia, New Zealand, USA and Canada will also all be doing battle in their annual competition during the same spell as the Women's Six Nations. So plenty of these players are working hard for selection. Their final chances to show off during the PWR. That was a nice first phase move that came eventually to Meg Jones, looking for the big miss pass to try and make room for Vicky Laughlin. Back to the short side. Just getting in each other's way again a little bit.
Offside, number 2.
Really nice starter play there, Nick. They look to connect. It was really nice off the tail of the line out, which means they can get to width really early. They get Jonesy on the ball. She's got magnificent distribution skills, and they get the ball all the way to Vicky Laughlin on the edge, and she has been lethal this season. But they always know, again, on the back of a straight arm, a penalty advantage, you can always come back, which is brilliant. So they find themselves on the 5-metre line. What an opportunity.
On the line, Black. Black. On the line. 28%
territory in the game when they met on the opening weekend. Can Trailfinders make sure that this encounter remains blow for blow? Referee communicated with Tash Ganley to say that it went to ground from the Trailfinders. They couldn't play it. It's an effective maul defence that has worked out for Exeter Chiefs. They're going to get the scrum, and it's a missed opportunity. Disconsolate faces on the Trailfinders.
Yeah, we look at this driven line out here, and again, you talk about drills. They will have done so many reps on this from an attacking perspective for Ealing Trailfinders, but equally as importantly for Exeter Chiefs, that process of getting your blockers on the sides, making sure that that line out is not going to come over your line, and really, really effectively getting rid of that attacking play and giving themselves an opportunity to exit.
Five. Six.
No real depth behind this scrum. Oh, and it's going to be the penalty goes to Trailfinders.
Number 3 to ground.
Amy Rule under the watchful eye of Richard Gordon. But Bradley's just turning around and checking what the decision's going to be here. Rachel Malcolm, certainly one of those happily pointed to the corner, and Meg Jones will step up and give it the little nudge it needs.
And that's the question, Nick. They've had this opportunity a few minutes earlier. Do they keep with the same call? Where do they go? How do they adjust what just didn't work for them last time?
Off to the tail, and this time not straight.
Scrum will line out black. Scrum.
One way and then the other.
And that'll be frustrating for them. They choose to go to the tail, which was so effective for them just a few minutes ago in the middle of the field. However, not straight. And just bear in mind that if it is not contested, the new ruling in this season is that even if it's not straight, you may be able to continue. Now, on that occasion, it's deemed that Chiefs have gone up to contest, and therefore it's given scrum against them.
Yeah, Dorothy Wall was thrown up. A lot of people saying you've got to go up and compete in this area of the field in case you can force that decision, and certainly that's what happened. Pick they'll go from Fayanati, who's well slowed down certainly by Malcolm. McGovern takes up a deep position. Back to the New Zealand fly half it goes.
That's interesting there. Ealing Trailfinders choosing to put what we call spike pressure on Liv McGovern at first receiver. There was 4 of them piling through, so they have clearly identified an opportunity. In the past few weeks, Liv has been a little bit slower in the execution of our clearance kick, so Ealing have spotted an opportunity to something to go after.
Well, Chiefs do have the highest kick meters this season, over 7,000 of them. And Liv McGovern, the clearest exponent in the black shirt. Zachary. White was the dummy option. The slide and dancing feet from Meg Jones. Oh, that was a little loose. The ball may have bounced forwards, but the referee's happy enough with the call. Claire Gallagher.
Tackle!
Nice little dummy.
Off. Well done.
Jones in at first, receiver that time, and then Zachary looked to try and use the footwork to get around McGovern. It's a good tackle from the fly half. Now they're trying to size up numbers down this side as Meg Jones sized up Flo Robinson to try and get through, but it was a good tackle from the Chiefs scrum half. Oh, you could see what was the idea there to get it back inside for Grace White from Bradley. But 2 of the smallest women on the field not quite able to make it stick.
And it's something they'll have identified from the preview, so you can see it coming now. There's a ruck coming here. What Brooke is looking for, as she picks there, is a disconnect around the corner. So that defender coming around the corner has either gone too far and neglected what's called the guard position straight around the ruck, or her friend, her support defender, has not come quick enough. So that's the kind of thing that they're looking to expose, because Chiefs are very, very good at getting around the corner and filling the field. So sometimes you have to look for other opportunities to expose. Just not quite the connection there between Brooke and her winger.
Crouch!
Fernati breaking from the tail. Boot on the toe. Niamh Gallagher. Just look to try and lose the chasing McGilvray. Create some room on the outside. She's done well enough to allow Trailfinders this position, but the defensive line comes up and Tessier straight in to Cox.
Tackle!
Meg Jones assisting. Maya Roos. Then it's there for Gallagher. Then Kalunivale. Another big powerful carry from her. Niamh Gallagher, could they find some width here? Jones certainly found it, but under pressure, Rachel Malcolm from the hit from Liv McGovern with the error. You knew she wanted to find that wide channel, Susie Appleby.
Yeah, and those are the moments that their coaches have talked about in these past 3 weeks while they haven't been competing and having games. Can they make good decisions out in those outside channels? And it's so tempting when you can see the player outside of you and you don't know what that defender in front of you is going to do. But if she jumps and makes a good decision, you're under an awful lot of pressure. And at times like that, they've talked about keep hold of the ball. Don't force the offload, because that's the potential position you end yourselves in, defending a scrum on the 10-metre line. And we know how these scrums have been going tit for tat. So, you know, you put yourselves in a position where you could come under substantial pressure.
Crouch! 5!
Susie Appleby says it's not been plain sailing for either side at scrum time. Let's have a look at this one. Tar Scanley is the assistant on the near side. He'll be having a look. Certainly a fairly healthy shove, but the break is there now for Robinson, who goes straight into White. And then Malcolm follows up to say, you're not picking a fight with my mate unless I'm involved too. Maisie Allen, such a key part, such a key heartbeat of this Exeter Chiefs side. That was pressure defensively from Meg Jones, who came rushing up and now steals the ball and sends it away in the frame of Maya Montiel. Jones was looking out to her backline to communicate with them there. She wasn't quite sure she wanted the ball. But will the bounce work out for anybody? Only Nancy McGilvray.
Ball's here.
Rogers. Not sure that Rogers was ready for that, and this bouncing ball is, well, going to be a really difficult one for Maisie Allen to pick up. She did extraordinarily well. Granzotto then plays it in for Robinson. It's a game where the defences are winning at the minute, although that may have been a bit of a jump start because Trailfinders have now been penalised for being offside as they came up to apply the pressure. So Robinson for Hope Rogers. Another big tackle through Bradley. Tessier, they have this advantage. That's quick hands, that's worked nicely, that's McGillivray. This is a little bit of pace out on that right side from Granzotto. Wall. Big hit in Kalunivale. Maloney McDonald. Another penalty advantage now. Granzotto not finding too much change out of the corners of that ruck. Fernati cuts back against the grain, against the tackle of her England teammate Abby Burton.
Choice of penalties. Emily, you've got an offside over there or a no clear release over here. Which one would you prefer? This one over here?
It tells the story about the choice of penalties, about how many Trailfinders are conceding.
Clear release.
Yeah, it really does, Nick. And again, they're doing some great stuff. We see line speed. That means how quickly a defender can get off the line and into the ball attack, the ball carrier's space. What that does is it either forces them back inside, looking at a potential jackal opportunity for their fellow defender, or it forces an error. We've seen quite a lot of that. Unfortunately, the discipline is just edging against Trailfinders at the minute. The subsequent penalties there, and we see now, so an error in decision making in that offload on this far side of the field on the right hand side allowed Chiefs to have that scrum for Flo Robinson to have a little scoot down the left hand side and then subsequent possessions have put Ealing Trailfinders under so much pressure that they are now finding themselves defending in their own 22. That's the reason around that, you know, game management, offloading versus just taking a ruck and keeping possession. That is what we talk about all the time.
You ready to go? Feel good to
Ebb and flow of this match,
to the line's yours, Gold.
such that
Yes,
having
please,
not
James.
taken an opportunity when they were down the other end, the missed thrown line out, Trailfinders unable to get back on equal footing, and this could be a chance for Exeter Chiefs to put a bit of daylight in there. An area of the field they are so dangerous. Emily Robinson goes for it, but this time it's not straight at the other end. Cleaner Maloney McDonald will have a rueful look.
Line out.
Fair to say she doesn't agree with the decision.
So difficult, isn't it? There's so many components to an effective line-out. And bear in mind that Maya Roos has been disrupting line-outs for fun. So she is not going to leave your line-out alone. She's going to be prolific in terms of trying to get the ball back for Ealing Trailfinders and has enabled them an opportunity. Yes, it's an exit line-out, but they have possession.
I'll expect plenty of competition there, but that was well taken by Borland. Perhaps the giveaway on the previous one, Emily Robinson having to reach quite far to the outside in order to bring that in. Ponsonby has this at the tail. Dorothy Wall has swum through the middle and got her hands on it, but it's there now from Burton to play it for Bradley. Penalty goes the way of Trailfinders.
Changing by number 5.
It's gone against Dorothy Wall, in fact. Now Meg Jones has taken off from inside her 22 on the quick tap. What will her teammates make of that? Looking to keep the tempo up. With the penalty, they would have been able to clear the lines and have the put into the line out. So they need to make this tell, and a little surprised that Meg Jones is there to try and keep the momentum and keep it happening.
Back. 9, stop. 9.
McGovern's there with Poulin. Being tracked down. Bounces out of 1. Then Tessier. Is it on the outside? Maloney McDonald will certainly hope so. And then it's Maisie Allen who finds a cultured left boot to stick it downfield. But Niamh Gallagher was there. Offloaded back inside to Meg Jones.
No, stick, please.
Gallagher at scrum half. They find themselves just outside their 22 again after another 40 seconds of play, Trailfinders. Fired back
Stop in front.
for Niamh Gallagher, who sends it downfield straight into the clutches of Alex Tessier. And the World Cup finalists will play it for Maloney McDonald, and Claudia Maloney McDonald is away here, and the chance to dance in the Trailfinders 22, giving them the space that they want to attack from here. Granzotto is there, happy to play link player. Cleaner Maloney McDonald. Liv McGovern on the outside, sensing the space might be more back in the middle. Dummies once, finds Dorothy Wall. Amy Rule then with the carry. And now Feyanati shipping it on. Where are the numbers? Can Chiefs finish this opportunity? It's there again. Long pass, Tessier. Did she run out of road? They keep it alive. It's gone forwards in goal. Granzotto may appeal. A breathless passage of play. Goodness.
Yeah, Nick, it was a breathless passage of play, and it ends up in Claudia Maloney McDonald getting probably her first real opportunity to really express the pace that she has in abundance. Just forcing that pass back inside, not surprisingly, because she was going to lose the ball anyway in touch, so you may as well try and keep it alive, and that's a really good decision. And Ealing Trailfinders still under pressure. Although now with the put-in, now this is where the pragmatic and the decision-making comes in. Have a look at the clock. There's 2 minutes to play. We need to be really smart around this, and 14-7 versus 21-7 is a big difference going into the sheds.
Yeah, if they can weather that pressure to a safer clearance, penalty will give them the time that they want. It's gone against Hope Rogers for angling in the front row, and that will be just what the doctor ordered from the Trailfinders women's perspective. Jones. On the angle, has worked it pretty well.
It's a really nice touch finder, that Jonesy. She wasn't tempted to just tap and play from her own 10-metre line, which I think her teammates would probably be quite relieved for. But, you know, that scrum there, as we talked about, I am no scrum expert, and I wouldn't profess to be. However, Hope Rogers penalised. The one before was Amy Rule penalised. So, you know, there's some conversations to be had from a Chiefs perspective.
Zachary from the tail. Oh, a lovely smuggle to Abby Burton. No slouch, the England and GB7's player. Made fantastic meterage. Now a chance to play in a more appropriate area of the field. Jones. Oh, the pressure on from Granzotto. Solid hit from the Italian. Did that go forward from Tessier? It's a penalty, Exeter Chiefs. Claire Gallagher needs to be careful here. Clearly a bit of a collision.
Yeah, we can see here. And this is another one where there's nothing really on the outside, and there's real pressure coming on from Exeter Chiefs. Meg Jones chooses to tip that ball on, but there's too much pressure coming on Claire Gallagher, and she just has a bit of a collision there. But interestingly enough, it's a great line break from Abby Burton. Again, there's such a brilliant competition going on for this back row positioning around that England selection. She connects with Kate Zachary, one of the world's most prolific back row players in history, and they bust the line up to the halfway line. Unfortunately, it was probably not the best decision to go to the left. All the numbers were to the right, but you make decisions on the run, and the end result is a penalty against Ealing Trailfinders.
Well, Gallagher just getting the attention. This is the moment you were just talking about.
Yeah, if we look at it now, so Abby Burton, she has experience on the 7 circuit. She has pace. She also had the awareness to just try and keep that ball alive with her footwork. But just that one that I was talking about before, it's an invitation for Exeter. We know how strong they are defensively. If you invite them into a contact situation, they will take it and they will push you backwards. And as I said, unfortunately for Ealing Trailfinders, after a really initial fantastic break, they just find themselves having to defend again, almost on their own try line after this kick from Tessier.
Well, our clock is in the red. The stadium clock has ticked over the 41-minute mark. We have had a couple of stoppages. We're not on a full stop-start clock on our coverage here, but clearly we are towards the end of this first half. Can Exeter Chiefs build to this third score that they've threatened for the past few minutes? Can Trailfinders keep them out? This time the line out works. Robinson looks at it. Tessier is an option. So's McGillivray. Wrapped up by Gallagher. Gets the ball presented. Now there's an advantage as well. Amy Rule with the carry. That's coming in the hands of Grace White. So it's going to be a penalty against Kate Zachary. Is Tessier going to go anything quick or unexpected here? Will it be a kick to the corner? Will it be tap and go?
Discipline, please, goals.
Stick to what you know.
Absolutely, and it's been pretty successful for them in terms of that driving for the line. Now, Ealing Trailfinders have been contesting, but getting back to floor really quickly to be able to then defend the driven line out. I would expect that we'll probably see more of the same, but where will Chiefs go in terms of their attack now?
So may have heard the referee. 40 seconds to go. Maloney McDonald goes to the front. Allen the option. And they are getting good rotation on this. And Maloney McDonald gets in and smuggles it. It's there with Rule. Is it with the Irish hooker who dives for the line? It's a hat-trick for Cleona Maloney McDonald in the first half at Sandy Park. That tells you all you need to know about the success rate and dominance of that Exeter Chiefs forward pack in the 22. Third try for the Chiefs. Third try for the hooker.
Yes. And what a critical time to be scoring. We'll see it again. Trailfinders decide to stay down. and go for that initial defence. But the drills from Chiefs are so good, so strong and so connected, and that is the key, the connection of that driven line out, which again, like we talked about, will have been repped and repped and repped this week because they take immense pride from their driven line out. And quite rightly, Clea Maloney, she's the benefactor of the driven line out. However, the process and the cohesion of what was going on around her and in front of her was what effectively got them over the line. And as I just mentioned, what a critical time to be scoring. You could say a little bit against the run of the green. Ealing had their opportunities to exit accurately. Maybe they could have done better. However, 3 tries to the good, and Exeter Chiefs are going in at the break.
Well, they certainly are. Cleana Maloney McDonald, the recipient of 3 meat pies over the course of that first 40. A symbol of the forward dominance in the right areas of the field where Exeter Chiefs have certainly found themselves. Plenty for Trailfinders to think about as they come in. But at half-time at Sandy Park, Exeter Chiefs 21, Trailfinders 7. And, well, Susie, when we talk about Trailfinders, you know, with the amount of superstars that they've got, spoke pre-match about it a little bit. It's about the cohesion. It's about whether they can start to look like they're playing as a team. For my mind, this match, they are achieving that. They have developed to get it, but perhaps at times it's still this sort of slight issue of when to play and when not to.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you've hit the nail on the head, Nick. There is no doubt about the talent within their squad, and not just the 15, it's the 23 who they're going to be able to call on in the second half. However, key moments in the game that allow Exeter Chiefs to have more possession than they probably should, and those moments can absolutely kill you in terms of your attack, in terms of your opportunities. We can look back through that 40 minutes, which we no doubt will, and we can look at those missed opportunities in the attack in 22, which has been a work on for Ealing Trailfinders. But overall, I think they'll be pretty pleased with their first 40 minutes. I think, you know, bringing Meg back into the mix has been, you know, it's been really positive. There's a couple of missed opportunities in terms of timing between the centre field and the connection on those outside channels. But overall, much more cohesive than what we've seen in recent weeks. So I think they'll be pleased, but there's some adjustments for both teams to be making in the changing room.
Well, I can see the chippy forks are out in the stand. It's snack time at half-time. We're not going to be left behind on that. I've got some thermos chicken and rice to get onto, Susie. That's very important. But we will come back with a little look back on the first 40 minutes in just a moment. But this is the league where you can witness a hatload of tries. So if you missed any of the action from last weekend, here are a few of the mega scores from round 13 in the PWR.
New era.
Good work from the Lightning. They're making good advancement down the pitch. Latui. It's been so good training with the England under-21s this week. Maniela Latui. Lovely little break. Morel. Kelter outside. Kelter to finish it off. Opening scorer of the afternoon. The USA centre, Alev Kelter, has her 5th try of the season.
Wall. McGillivray. These good hands from these Chiefs. And then a missed tackle on Poulan means she can gallop into the Gloucester Hartbury off. Great pace from Poulan, who backs herself to the corner and scores a beauty. What a try from Sabrina Poulan to equalise the score. What a start here at Kingsholm.
50-22's on.
Oh, we just got pace here from Lovibond as she goes once again, gets the pass away, and it's a drive to the line from the speedster, Charlie Whitman. GB7's flyer. She goes forward, easy try, but what a setup.
Muir, slick hands, good ball to Venner. Venner, one to beat. Venner glides around Poulan. That levels them up at 1-1 for the night. Brilliant finish by Mia Venner. And it's Gloucester Hartbury who strike first in the second half.
exempt. Oh, does well to get away from the touchline. And Apps in support. Liv Apps gunning for the corner. Powell coming across to try and make the tackle. But it's brilliant finishing from Liv Apps. From Sevens Field to 15 Field. It's a 7th try of the season.
Oh, she should genuinely have put that in at Maddie Fayonati's feet. But a bit more steady from the Chiefs scrum. Tezier tries to get it to Maloney McDonald and finds a target. Maloney McDonald hits the Jets, and it will be a bonus point for Chiefs. Classy finish from a classy operator, and Chiefs will not go home empty-handed.
Oh, are they going to play across the face here? They are. Bridges got away. Support on the left. Breach is one of them. They try and hold Pena, and now it's just Jess Breach to show us the pace that she's got. Cover coming across. Jess Breach steering back inside. Vintage Jess Breach. Saracens' 4th try. Bonus point secured before the break.
Thank you.
New era.
Plenty of crackers from round 13 to have enjoyed, but we are in round 14 this weekend. Loughborough Lightning getting that win last night against Harlequins, and at half-time at Sandy Park. And the sunny estuary over to our right. It is 3 tries to 1 for Exeter Chiefs against Trailfinders. So let's have a little look at the highlights from that first 40 minutes. We are here at Sandy Park alongside Susie Appleby, former head coach. And Exeter Chiefs, well, they're all going to look a little bit like a carbon copy of each other, these, aren't they, Susie?
Yeah, I think the important thing to consider, Nick, is the build-up to these tries and the management of the game by the halfbacks in particular. And perhaps alongside the indiscretion that have allowed teams to kick to the corner, in this case Exeter Chiefs, kicking to the corner and getting rightly over the line. But this is all about execution of the drills. We've talked about it in the first 40 minutes. The amount of time that goes into that pick and drive drill.
On the line, on the line.
Yeah, one on the board for Exeter Chiefs, but Trailfinders did have the opportunity to hit back, and they took it. Alana Borland.
Yeah, they did, and again, we've mentioned it, that patience and resilience, ruthlessness at the other end. And Ealing Trailfinders getting themselves back on the board. And then back to the other end, and Clee Maloney's going over again. Really good awareness of her own body shape there, and strength of upper body to drive herself over the line with a twist. Really impressive.
Scott Beeman, no doubt, watching on. Pleased to see Maloney McDonald returning to play, returning to form, returning to knowing exactly where the try line is.
And again, this one here, and this is as a coach and what the conversation's going on in the changing room. First and foremost, don't give away pens that are going to allow Exeter Chiefs to enter your half with a driven line out, because it's clearly has going back to becoming a super strength. But also alongside that, are we going to go up and compete? Are we going to stay down and defend the drive? And those are the decisions that not only go in the changing room, but more importantly, what are your key decision makers, your leaders on the field that you empower when you send them out there, Nick? You can't be there as a coach. You can't hold their hand, and this is all about empowering the players to make good decisions on the field at critical times.
And over the evolution of the PWR from the Premier 15s days when you were involved at Gloucester Hartpury, then came to Exeter Chiefs, how much have you found the shift in terms of the nous of the players, actually how perhaps it may have been more prescriptive to what you needed, to how much you're then handing over the decision making to them? How much has the IQ of the women's rugby player at the top level improved?
Well, it's not rocket science to go that as a team becomes more cohesive and more gelled with each other, they will make more more informed decisions and become used to each other. So for Ealing Trailfinders, it's been an evolution. They recruited really, really well over the summer, but didn't have the luxury of having a pre-season together. So not surprisingly, when they last played Chiefs, they were effectively strangers. But as the season has come along, they will have done a lot of analysis. They will looked at previews, reviews, and then empowered your halfbacks, your Brooke Bradleys, and your first receivers, your second receivers, to make more good decisions, or what they feel is good decisions. But every week you make good decisions, poor decisions. How can you make a poor decision better with your next action? And this is all about learning. But back to your point, most importantly, Nick, is the game has evolved. These games are so competitive. Last night we saw an incredible game of rugby going on up at Loughborough at the Cinch Stadium, and that could have gone either way. But as I mentioned earlier, for the first time, Loughborough absolutely got hold of it. I'm using my hands here metaphorically to kind of take hold of Quins and really turn the screw on them with really effective decision making. So I think there's a bit about game experience and players getting used to it. Niamh Gallagher out there in the 15 shirt, she's a young player, she's learning the game. Brooke at 9, conversely on the other side of the field, Flo Robinson and Liv McGovern, they've played alongside each other a lot now. So, it's, ebb and flow. How much do you want to tell? How much do you sell? And how much do you empower? That word that I use an awful lot, whether I'm coaching, in rugby or in other aspects of life. You want people to make their own decisions, to feel valued, to feel that they're strong. And these women are strong. They are really strong. There's no two ways about it. So, it's really interesting. And what's more interesting, or as interesting, is the conversations at half-time. What's going on in the changing room now? Are you adjusting things in terms of your tactics? Are you saying more of the same, more of the same? Chiefs now are sitting with 3 tries. They'll be gunning for that 4th try at very least. But similarly, Ealing Trailfinders have not come here to make up the numbers. So what are they going to do in this second half?
We love winding her up and letting her go. That's what we've got Susie Appleby here for. My goodness, we could talk all day. I absolutely love it. What passion there is. All right, well, we do have a second half to enjoy very shortly. And, well, if you're talking about making good decisions, you've made a great decision to enjoy this match with us in the Devon sunshine this afternoon. 21 points to 7 then. We'll be back with the second half in just a few minutes.
New era.
We really like our tribe mentality.
We're gonna run.
Ambition is all to win the league.
We are Exeter Chiefs.
Playing for Exeter Chiefs, it means you're representing the team that we played for, the history that's there, the community that massively gets behind women's rugby.
I love being in Sandy Park. It's a really special place to be and play rugby, and what we want to become our fortress.
Chiefs is a really gritty team, very physical team in the league.
We played for each other, we're very united, we work hard and we play till the 80th minute. It's everything I love about rugby.
We've had a little bit of a revamp. We're going to show a little bit more of what we can do to our skill set.
It's going to be strength, it's going to be speed, it's going to be a new form of attack from us. We fear no one.
Fearless, fast, powerful. We are Trailfinders women.
It's such a great feeling to play at Trailfinders. We've got such a strong following out in West Ealing. That's our home turf.
We're going to be fast and furious. We're going to bring the tries, and we're so excited to start.
We've got big names coming in. We've got a lot of internationals to go up.
We're such a tight-knit group. Everyone just expresses themselves.
Meg Jones is going to bring magic. Magic Meg. Trailfinders, we're going to bring energy, passion, and a lot more flair.
Park, if you have refreshed your beverage, put the kettle on, whatever it might be. We are just getting ready for the reintroduction of Exeter Chiefs out to join us as Kate Zachary and her Trailfinders team have taken their place. As the women of the first 40. 3 tries to the good for Clean and Maloney MacDonald, all more catch and drives. I mean, for all of the invention, for all of the expansion of the game plan that we might see under Steve Salvin, it's all been up the jumper stuff.
Yeah, it has, Nick, but it's been because they've been playing. Do you know what I mean? You play rugby and you force a team to give up either a penalty, possession, whatever, you know. So they have not been playing dull rugby, and I think we'll probably see a little bit more of the same, but hopefully a little bit more expansive in this second half.
Clearance from the restart from Claire Gallagher. Maisie Allen gets in to get hold of it. Tessier. Emily Robinson. Sister Flo. Little ball inside. McGillivray. Flo Robinson was there. Ball transfer was good enough. Dorothy Wall. Head down. Sized up by Rachel Malcolm. McGovern. Flo Robinson. Maisie Allen did well to keep the hands free and get the ball away. Fayanati into Brooke Bradley. Hope Rogers. Good counter drive from Kate Zachary. Look at the strength involved in that collision. Could power the rest of Devon with it. Long one to find Fayanati, who then had a player that's probably weighs about a third of a Fayanati in Francesca Granzotto. Was at fullback against Harlequins, where she got a start in that position for the first time. We'll be looking forward to Italy's campaign in the Women's Six Nations as McGillivray was just on the outside. Meg Jones has gone in to try and get the turnover, but you may have heard the referee say she wasn't on the ball. Poulin, can she release the ball? She managed to just on the way to ground. Claudia Maloney MacDonald, little show. Was that high from Kaluna Vale? And the referee will say yes, it was.
When we talk about game management, Nick, that was a really good display of it by Chiefs. Yes, they're on the halfway line, but they're always under control. They're always in control of what was happening. When you get the ball into someone like Claudia Maloney MacDonald's hands and you see the footwork that is involved, you talk about mismatches in games, and a winger versus a tight head prop, with all respect, the winger should come out on top. And if at very least it's a penalty, that is a win-win from a Chiefs perspective.
Due apology. Sporting respects from Fijian-born Blackfern Kaluna Vale.
I can't, sorry, the mark's here. If it was a bit closer, I can't, but it's a long way away.
Maisie Allen tore away. You may have heard her pick up when the referee's whistle went, oh, come on. Well, you were about 5 metres from the mark, so. Tessier.
Yeah, straight across, up and down.
It's going to be more of the same over in this area of the field, isn't it?
I get that.
Cleana Maloney MacDonald wants her hands on the ball.
3 goals sub.
Because Exeter Chiefs have a 4th try and a bonus point to go in search of.
And as I touched on already, Nick, they'll be really pleased with the way that their driven line-out has been functioning. Yes, it hasn't been perfect, but if you look at the stats in recent weeks, it's been very, very low compared to what their standards are.
Kaluna Vale has been replaced by Tufnell. It's in the hands of the Chiefs and Ireland hooker once more.
Don't change onto it.
Ball is released. Tessier couldn't hold it, but Alana Borland was pinged. She tried to strike up a conversation with the referee, but let's just listen to the warning here.
So we ended the first half with 2 or 3 penalties in quick succession. We've now had a high tackle, throwing across, and 5-side entry here. I don't want to see any more. Do you understand? Cool.
That's the warning.
Number 5, side entry, marks the enters. Yeah. Time on.
You can see Borland was appealing to the referee here, just looking up and having the chat, but she might have been asking for the full précis of her position. The answer was given in a straight arm and a penalty against. To the front they go. It's well won by Trailfinders, but they've got to react, and it's the first one to react on the floor. It certainly is. Well, to the victor, the spoils, and the speed of the reaction from Amy Rule means that she will break the rule that Cleona MacDonald is the only one allowed to score tries.
Just so I'm aware, have you guys got me or not?
Yeah, it's not all about the effectiveness of your process. It's also about reaction speed, a little bit of miscommunication between Brooke Bradley and I think Kate Zachary or whoever's there. And actually, Amy Rule was not hanging around. She is not holding back. She is loving life in the West Country.
No, it's just checking if you can hear me or not.
Tighter props don't often score tries, Nick. And, you know, you make your own luck. And she certainly made her own luck with that one. And you couldn't say it was necessarily a huge run-in from 10, 15 metres, but it could become so by the end of the evening.
Indeed, a third try of the season. More importantly, in the context of this game, the 4th try and the bonus point. McGovern. That one's not quite going to get there. Why would you not jump on that loose ball a lot quicker? Seems a curious moment as far as Trailfinders are concerned.
Yeah, and disappointing too, because they turned the line out over, as they have been doing with great frequency all season. So they'd secured their possession back potentially, but yeah, just weren't urgent enough to get on the ball. Now there's a slow walk back to the halfway line, which is interesting. So maybe a couple of conversations going on. We've also got I think Kate Zachary might be down over there.
No, we'll give them as much time as they need, sir.
Hayley Head has come onto the field.
Okay, thanks. We'll wait for her to come off still. Yeah, is she going off? Yeah. I think it is 7 going off.
Former Queensland Red player Hayley Head has come onto the field. Rachel Malcolm maybe less aware. Turns around and spots the player who moved over from Australia.
Time on.
Meg Jones with the restart. Manages to find a bit of turf. Also the boot of Flo Robinson.
Not held. Advantage, knock on.
Bounces back to her feet. Burton lays it back. Ponsonby. Gallagher.
Advantage over.
The big frame of the replacement. Cassandra Tufnell. Borland getting the offload away, but sufficiently telegraphed to allow Amy Rule to get straight on to the ball carrier. Tufnell again with the carry. Bradley, it's not the quickest ruck speed. Malcolm back for Jones, and then Cox nearly getting through the gap. Just nearly opened up there. Niamh Gallagher onto Claire Gallagher. Laughlin over it. Then in for Maya Kawani Kaulani Roos. Jones. Borland just running on the outside of Dorothy Wall. Did well to stay in the tackle. Jones, dribbler across the floor. Poulin with Maloney McDonald on the inside. I don't think there was a sufficient bit of action from Tufnell to even lower the height here. And the referee is going to say that's a straight yellow. No TMO in our game this afternoon, but the referee had a clear view of that. And Cassandra Tufnell, who is only just onto the field, will be taking 10 minutes in the sin bin.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate. It's a change up in tactic, and Meg Jones sees some space in behind, maybe a little bit of movement from Sabrina Poulin to enable her to spot some space. But the most effective and most important thing about your kicking is the follow-up. And Sabrina Poulin, she's deceptively quick again, very similar in that instance to Claudia Maloney McDonald with her footwork, just forcing that penalty.
Well, the 27-year-old Canadian international will, by her absence, leave Trailfinders down to 14.
All backwards, all backwards.
Burton tries to tidy up the loose ball. A lot of it's being thrown on the ground by Trailfinders at the minute. Oh, that's brilliant from Tessier. Looked to try and shape and consider the kick downfield. She will have known that there was nobody at home.
Ball is out.
Fayonati loses it. Jones gets a toe to it.
So on the full. Yeah, but it wasn't kicked out on the full, so mark is here. Yeah. Extra throw.
Messy old spell.
Yeah, it is. It's these are the moments. Trailfinders have gone down. They've lost a player. They won't have to make a change until a scrum happens, and then there'll be some tactical decision-making involved. But at the moment, they need to get hold of this game and make good decisions around that game management perspective, being a player down.
It's another steal. Wall made the call, but the ball never got that far. Ponsonby got it away for head. Nobody at home. Vicky Laughlin is out of the traps on the left wing. Can she pin her ears back and get hold of this? Ball is still there. Cleona Maloney McDonald with the awareness to just fall on the ball, help try and secure it that way. Just wondered why Laughlin just held off the gas a little bit. Felt like she really could have gone for it. It's a really intelligent kick. McGovern to clear the lines, and will do so.
It's a fantastic spot from Brooke Bradley. She's worked so hard on that, certainly when she was here at Chiefs with Ricky Pello, who's a scrum half specialist, just identifying that defenders are vacating a space in that side of the field, and she goes for a little roller over the top.
Same message, Chiefs.
Yeah, but just couldn't quite connect with Laughlin.
Good gap.
Maloney McDonald with a little shoulder check on Laughlin there. Just spotted on that replay. Got away with one there, perhaps.
Forwards bound on 5 to start.
Up the jumper initially from Ponsonby. Then away into midfield. Jones fancied the little dink through. It didn't quite work out. Tidy up job will be needed. Brooke Bradley. Burton. Head down from Abby Burton. Being driven back in a tackle goes Montiel. Penalty advantage. Borland. Learning a lot about her international colleague through her time in the PWR. Georgia Ponsonby. Clear out effective. Bradley. Well, went on her own, possibly a little isolated. Cleona Maloney McDonald's got over that. They are still under advantage. Roos doesn't give it.
Still good advantage, 9.
There's the reminder from the referee to Bradley. Jones.
No advantage.
Didn't work to Laughlin.
Actually, you've got 2.
We'll come back.
One's closer to touch, about 11 metres, and one's over here. Which one do you want?
You've got 11 metres and you've got here.
Yeah, it's about 10
Well, without
metres.
Kate Zachary on the field, Rachel Malcolm is stepping up into that captaincy role. I mean, when will she not? I think is probably more the point, the natural leader that she is.
So it's interesting, Nick, isn't it, that, you know, that Ealing have gone a player down, but they seem more energised in terms of their actions and looking after each other through that contact area, and that led to Hope Rogers just coming off her feet. You cannot contest for the ball if there's a tackler in the way of the breakdown, which is exactly what that was penalised for. Give themselves a massive opportunity attacking the try line.
Line out. Works. Roos brings it down. Another penalty advantage. Will it be the yellow card and going down to 14 that just gives Trailfinders the chutzpah to get themselves over the line for a second score in this game. Just the one first half try.
Side entry. Number 4.
It's against Van der Velden.
Discipline, please.
Little chat from Abby Burton and Meg Jones, just picking up there. They were debating whether to tap, whether to do something different. Rachel Malcolm straight in with that captaincy experience. They're under a warning. We take another line.
And that's when you see your international leaders stepping up.
Cool heads at critical moments. Malcolm brings the line down, but they do have some Exeter Chiefs in there, possibly in a position to spoil this, and they have to try and get the ball back on their side, which they do. Bradley then for Jones. Jones gets it on for Caris Cox, driving at Tessier, who alongside McGillivray did really well. Very few options out on the right side. Bradley just had to check herself, recognising that it was a 15-metre pass. And no matter who it was receiving it, there were about 5 Exeter Chiefs waiting to swarm. Better option not to give it. Now another penalty advantage as Roos goes with that last carry. Then it's Montiel. Van der Velden trying to get in and over it. Trailfinders have to use some of this penalty advantage to get over the line. Burton coming back this side. Intelligent from Burton. Very little width from Trailfinders at the minute. Meg Jones is the furthest to the left-hand side. Well, this may well be the warning that Rachel Malcolm was driving towards.
Down there. There's too many penalties in a quick succession here. Tell your team I don't want to see any more. This is for 3 offside. Yeah, you can.
Yeah, and I think there's an example of really good refereeing here. Richard Gordon, he's showed the same kind of patience at the other end of the field. He said to Ealing Trailfinders, enough is enough. There's too many penalties in this gold zone, which then made Ealing Trailfinders back off a little and gives the attacking team some space to be able to execute their plays. Same thing down this end, and that's really good to see from a referee. All the players want is consistency. They want a referee to talk to them, and we'll see it now. Yes, you have to go for, if there's an opportunity and you can see a ball is exposed, to go after it. However, Amy Rule on this occasion, she's just taken a foot in front of that offside line, and therefore Richard Gordon quite rightly delivers the warning.
It's going to be quick at tap and go time from Georgia Ponsonby. Well, no messing around from the 37 cap Blackfern. That's the way to do it. Trailfinders get their second try eventually.
Nothing can replace pure power and acceleration, and Georgia Ponsonby knows her way to the try line. Absolutely deserved, and I think the thing that will be most pleasing for Ealing Trailfinders and their coaching team is just the patience that was displayed there. They've talked about being ruthless, they've talked about being relentless. They are down to a player down, they're down to 14 players. However, they had the patience to keep hold of the ball, to work through the phases and earn deserved penalties, and therefore enable themselves to get over for their second score, which is very, very important.
Well, I think Liv McGovern is just requiring a bit of attention under the post. Certainly was the one who put her body on the line as Georgia Ponsonby came crashing through. Oh dear.
As we talked about, Nick, Liv McGovern is made of very, very strong stuff. It takes a lot to get her off the field. As you can see, the Doc Tom is now taking her off the field. It's a question whether there was a dislocation, and in that contact area.
Well, McGovern is leaving the field. I think actually it might have been a collision with Amy Rule. I think the two of them behind, trying to come in late to stop the grounding from Ponsonby, have collided with each other. And McGovern in some discomfort, and a change, I think, with Amy Rule as well. Dalika Menin coming onto the field, who, of course, is quite the athlete. It's a second try from Trailfinders, though, as we'll just get back to the main story in terms of the points scored, and Niamh Gallagher then adding the conversion. So 26 plays 14 now.
Yeah, and Nick, we know how threatening Ealing Trailfinders are. You know, we've seen repeated efforts against teams like Gloucester Hartpury where they never say die and they want to come after you. And this, I think, is what we'll see right now.
The next few moments, critical, you suspect, in the tail of the tape by the time we get to the full-time whistle. Just short of the hour mark. Tessier. It's taken a little bounce that nearly foxed Gallagher. She's done well. Tessier in for Poulin. Been playing well. Ailey Sinclair is on the bench. No room for Merrin Elworthy in the full squad. Of course, such a key player of Exeter Chiefs over the years. That's really nicely done from the replacement, Abby de Good, and then the kick downfield, and it's going to set up beautifully. Try of the afternoon. Claudia Maloney-McDonald with the finish. And no sooner had Trailfinders got their second of the match than Chiefs hit back with number 5. Claudia Maloney-McDonald, her 4th of the season, on just her 3rd game back from injury. Well, that was a delight.
Yeah, Dalika Menin, absolutely world-class prop, making an instant impact. You cannot leave the edge of breakdowns because Dalika will be exploiting you. Little pick and go, and as all good 9s, they're always following the ball. They're running cheat lines. They're getting in positions to be a support player. And a really intelligent little nudge over the top. Again, Flo Robinson, some tough weeks that just happened against Gloucester and Quins, but she has been excelling in terms of what she's been doing on the field, and certainly putting herself probably right up in terms of the thoughts of John Mitchell, one would hope.
Gabby Cantona onto the field. Katie Buchanan is also on as well. De Good alongside Menin. So plenty of the changes being run from Exeter Chiefs. And they are all seasoned campaigners. It's another Maloney-McDonald on the score sheet. Menin setting them on their way. Robinson to Robinson, Flo to Emily.
No, not with that player there. Well done. Carry back.
Tessier.
8, stop. Thank you.
Captain at Rugby World Cup for Canada. 3 offloads, 2 assists last week. It's actually 3rd for offloads over the course of the season, Alex Tessier. Bradley, Borland. Just wonder what that score has done in terms of trying to demoralise the effort. Trailfinders 26-14. Quite different to suddenly 33-14.
Plenty of you players on. Slow call, hold your stability and balance, please.
Yeah, just here, you can see what they're trying to do. They're trying to attack where there's a disconnect. That means that 2 defenders are not quite on the same page or have left a considerable distance between them, but that one just didn't quite go to hand. So you can see the effort and endeavour, but again, those kind of forced plays in the middle of the field has given Chiefs a fantastic attacking opportunity with a scrum almost on the halfway line.
Back up to the full complement now with Sandra Tufnell back onto the field. It's good first phase play, and it's done brilliant work to get all the way across field and find Katie Buchanan.
Easy.
Cover tackle was strong from Laughlin.
Line's yours, Chiefs.
Just looking at the detail of this play, Nancy McGillivray does really well. She just holds her feet. That means she steadies her pace in the way that she's attacking the ball to enable her almost just to take the ball and deliver to the outside players, which means she has preserved the space for the wingers. Just Katie Buchanan just sliding into touch there, unfortunately.
Bradley, Gallagher, Burton in midfield. Gets the offload away for Head. Go the same way. Queuing up, they want to hit that next phase as fast as they can. Karis Cox then with the carry. McJones has left the field of play. Minutes being managed on her return. That's nice. Oh, but it was just lost forward, Leatherman. Can Exeter Chiefs make the most of the scrum advantage? Maisie Allen then, again, all with the box kick and drawing the error in the 22. She's followed up with the tackle as well. Or was that Robinson? Either way. It's lively from Chiefs.
Yeah, when your tails are up, you tend to do things that add value almost instinctively, and that's what Maisie Allen is all about. She's top of the tree in terms of not just defensive turnovers and tackles, but also in terms of involvement. She's everywhere. Now she's putting boot to ball. She's a multi-skilled back row player.
Lovely central platform for Chiefs to attack from, and Fayanati gives it quickly from the hands that time. Oh, and then just drifting straight through the space goes Cantona, allowed a fair amount of meterage there, and then back in for the lady we just mentioned, Maisie Allen, carrying that time. Robinson, again, flow to Emily, wall in, Fayanati. Just seems to have an instinct, Maddie Fayanati, for where the point is in a defensive line that might give up another half metre.
Make sure we're moving backwards.
What John Mitchell will want to see plenty of from Maddie Fayanati. Quick pick at the base. Is it there for Hope Rogers? She nearly got there. Short that time. Maisie Allen is there. Oh, and she dives through. Dummy on the outside, straight through the middle. 7th try of the season for Maisie Allen. Topping plenty of the stats defensively around tackles and turnovers. But that, pure and simple, is taking your shot. 6th try for Exeter Chiefs.
First phase play is so important. The starter plays, you rep them in the week, and this is really nice from Gabby Cantona. Just fresh onto the field, she wants to make an impact. Most important thing is a body position there. She sets that point of contact, and then Chiefs go to work. Maisie Allen bounces on the out. That means she gets to the outside shoulder of a defender. Next one, it could just be stopped at source, but actually 2 teammates driving you forward. And then Chiefs are just in the groove. They're in the groove. They're playing off 9, making meters. And then they go to their pick and drive game. You've mentioned Maddie Fayanati, relentless in a pursuit of making those meters. And then you hear Flo, that game management, they're only going to pick and drive from there. And it was Maisie Allen in the end. She started the play on the right-hand side of the field with a lovely carry, and she finishes it in the middle. And let's not neglect the fact that she put the ball over the top to enable them the scrum.
All court game from Maisie Allen. Gabby Cantona with the extras. Chiefs 4-0, Trailfinders 1-4.
Stop in front, wait. Good work.
Rosie Inman. Oh dear. When it's not your afternoon, it's not your afternoon. Claire Gallagher knocks the ball on.
No hands now. Ball's not out.
Shipped on. Replacement front row working nicely. Titosi on there with Swan as well. Robinson was a little loose, suddenly found herself in the darker areas with, was it Chris Blanco for attention?
They were never down. Clearly held up.
Blanco did well, stopped them getting that to ground. Trailfinders will have turnover.
Advantage was over.
Yeah, despite the changes coming onto the field, the important thing for Trailfinders is that they make an impact and they are cohesive and have conversations to allow them to get some ball back and try their very best to get over the try line at the other end. At the moment, they haven't exited their own half. However, first opportunity, right-hand scrum. Hopefully they've got all the numbers loaded to the left. Hopefully they can seize this opportunity.
Ella Amory. Oh, couldn't get the ball away. Flo Robinson is there. She sent it back into the hands of Maisie Allen, who knocks it on.
Lock on.
With every moment that Exeter Chiefs swell with opportunity, it just feels like Trailfinders are shrinking.
Yeah, I think when you've got your tails up, it's a chance to really impose yourself and take chances that you probably wouldn't in a tight game. And, you know, that wasn't taking a chance. Flo Robinson, I'm mentioning her name more and more as we get through the game because she is having more of an impact every moment that we take through this game.
Crouch! Binds! Sit!
Big pressure at the scrum, but Burton's done really well to come away with it, knowing how important that pick at the base was. Finds Welsh international Cox. Emma Wassell, Scottish international, is off the bench and on for Trailfinders. Gallagher straight down the middle. Well, that's going to sit up. Let's try and skip away from Claudia Maloney-McDonald from just inside her 22. Is looking for the 50-22. Claire Gallagher has done enough to get away under a fair amount of pressure. Gets the kick in. But now what's the option? Big collision. Ailey Sinclair. Is it there for Buchanan? It's Claudia Maloney-McDonald. Flo Robinson was calling for it. Infield, sensing a chance to run in another worldie. Buchanan.
Back.
Surging run. So we dare Flo Robinson. It was too good. Now pick and go.
Last feet. Go, last feet.
Cheers of the fans cheering on their side at Sandy Park. Allen goes close again. Scorer of the 6th try just a moment ago. A sense of the inevitable about number 7 not being too far away. Carry from Delika Men in that time. They reload and go again, and they will find the line once more. Maisie Allen. It's another one for Allen. It's another one for Chiefs. And in the sunshine of Sandy Park, Exeter Chiefs are now running riot against 5th place Trailfinders.
We saw a really smart play by Flo Robinson, just having a little jump back onto the short side where there were fewer numbers in defensively and they were retreating, so could have been awarded with a penalty. Super smart, and from there the forwards, they're well drilled. They know their pick and drive game. Whoever is on the field at the time, and there's lots of substitutes coming on who are making an impact, and then it's that lady Maisie Allen getting over again.
.47 now on the board for the home side. Maisie Allen getting 7 and 8 in her season so far.
Little way to go to chase down May Campbell, who's on 12, but in hot pursuit still. Did hear the Trailfinders asking the referee, well, we're looking at the stadium clock. It looks like there's about 7 or 8 minutes remaining. The referee said, I've got bad news for you. There's another 4 on top of that by my watch. It's 11 remaining.
Point advantage. No advantage.
So this is the time, Nick, when you want your impact players to be making that word, doing their job, making an impact, showing the coaches exactly what they're made of, how they can make an impact in the game. And this is a massive opportunity. Brand new front row, putting the scrum down on the left-hand side of the field, acres of space, the space in behind, the space in the front line. They've gone front 4 in defence, have Chiefs. So how do they pick off that space and where are they going to attack? Interestingly, Claire Gallagher's come to the left-hand side of the scrum with Vicky Laughlin. Are we going to see her bouncing around to make the difference in the numbers?
Well, they've certainly got the platform they want, but it's going to be all a bit of smoke and mirrors as Abby Burton carries away to that open side where Gallagher will now return. And a little tip on the ball goes from Emma Uren, and that's going to work nicely. Better first phase percentage play from Trailfinders. Grace White there, just took a bit of a knock in the warm-up. Was able to come back and rejoin us. She's got a bit of a shiner. Who cares about the opposition when your own teammates can take you out in training?
Ealing Trailfinders have clearly had a chat at half-time about exposing the space in behind with little kicks and grubbers. The start point of that was their starting positions with dragging Chiefs to the left-hand side of the field and therefore enabling them to attack some space on the right-hand side.
Ball took a fierce bounce up into the face of Chris Blanco. She wasn't able to hold it, so it's just going to be the knock-on.
It's a massive opportunity here. Brand new front row for Chiefs. Had a disappointing day last week up at Gloucester. So big opportunity now for Dalika Menon to be putting right the wrongs alongside Demi Swan and Emily Totosi.
Fayanati, McGillivray. Totosi the next. Back for Tessier. Involved in the kicking game a little more since McGovern had to leave the field. That is another excellent clearance from the 66 cap Canadian.
And what a luxury, Nick, to be able to turn to all these players who are massive international experience, not just as leaders, but their skill sets are through the roof. They work really hard at them. You've got Gabby Cantona, you've got Liv McGovern, you've got Alex Tessier stepping up and adding to their skill sets, and that's exactly what their team coaches from their internationals, exactly what they want to see.
Not straight, the call.
Scrum the line out. Scrum the line out, please. Scrum. Crouch! Binds! Sit!
Cantona, Tessier, McGillivray, Claudia Maloney McDonald. Bundle sufficiently to touch from Laughlin, but still there. Allen holds it up. Cantona again. Totosi ships it on. Hattie going one way and then the other, and then Fayanati, not with a whole load of space inside her, so Dipson gets that shoulder into the contact. Robinson asking questions over the player on the wrong side, and will now quick tap and go. And Robinson brought down by Uren.
First there, well done, good turnover.
Giving Chiefs the platform on the edge of the 22, but Trailfinders with the isolated scrum half getting the turnover.
Yes, please, yes, please.
Amory under pressure. Wassel offering herself as the next carry option.
Use.
Over the top of Buchanan. Can do a bit of dancing in the phone box and gets away from Laughlin.
No, off.
First tackle was good. Borland told to get off the next attempted turnover because there was a tackler in the way for the referee's description. Cantona then for Tessier. Maloney McDonald will be mispassed. McGillivray. Zoe Dare. Signed from Gloucester Hartpury. Didn't manage a PWR appearance there, but made a PWR debut against Trailfinders in round 1. To Tosi. Brought down by Wassel. Cantona. Chipping it up.
Backwards.
Communication not the strongest, but Inman able to just do enough. Amory. It's a one-on-one opportunity for Uren. Buchanan has the option of the touchline to show Uren the door.
Yeah, sit now, thanks. Line is yours.
Yeah, just too easy to deal with for Chiefs there. That kick from Gabby Cantona. Yes, it gives Alien Trailfinders back the ball, but it also makes them make a decision. Not a lot of numbers getting back behind the ball, and therefore Chiefs can then impose themselves in that defensive setup.
No contest.
Right, line out by the communication with the referee. Wasn't straight, but there was no contest, so Chiefs able to play. Maloney McDonald with the kick through. Grace White with some chasing back to do. Has she got any room to return the meters? Not too many, as the tackle came in from Allen. Who else, of course? Wassel, ball back inside, but it was 2 forwards for the referee.
3 to go. 3 to go.
Feel like the referee is very much in the ear of the Trailfinders players when he says that's 3 minutes to go. Come on, you can get there.
Absolutely, and you know, there's been a lot of very, very good stuff from Ealing Trailfinders today. Some of the timing is just a little bit off on that occasion. You know, ball carrier taking it to the line, but Baby delivering that pass and not quite on the same page, but some really positive stuff. Chiefs will be really intent to try and finish this game super strong. They've just heard there's 3 minutes left. There's an amazing opportunity in terms of an attacking scrum.
Sit! Stay straight.
Touch of rotation on it, but all it's done is open up the side that Chiefs want to attack, and it's Tessier. Back in for Fernati. Some key carries throughout the game. That was Lucen on the floor, though. Tufnell was there to jump on it. Is there something on here in this outside channel? Oh, it's good straightening. Did the pass need to come in from Gallagher, though? Amory, Laughlin. Oh, the lovely little lazy switch to send Uren down the left side. A moment ago, she was bundled into touch in this area. That time they keep it in field. Borland then gets the call. Gallagher. Carry from Tufnell. Allen went in to try and turn it over. In fact, it wasn't Allen, it was Dalika Menin. Just slows down again momentarily for Trailfinders. Maloney McDonald just taps it back into her own 22. Twice the call is backwards.
Back. Stop in front. Walk backwards.
Ball kept in field.
That's off her hands.
Oh, and it is the knock on.
Knock on.
Tricky one for Rosie Inman as it kicked off the hand.
Yeah, just a smart bit of play from Claudia Maloney McDonald. Works a lot on her kicking game, really recognises that John Mitchell and the England coaching staff want to see that in terms of their back three's ability, not just be able to run into space, but be able to kick the ball into space and identify opportunities. And also, potentially, then you can make your own luck and give yourself an advantage, which is exactly what happened to Rosie Inman, just not managing to take care of that ball. Potentially a final opportunity for Chiefs to impose themselves in terms of an attacking left-hand scrum.
Sit!
Flo Robinson got the call from the referee that time was up, sticks it into the stands. And while third taking on fifth suggested that this big 10-pointer of a match could be tight as you like, with Trailfinders on the road down to the southwest, it was the team in the southwest that had other ideas. They demonstrated their cohesion, their sense of being one unit, their ability to work as a pack and as a team. The 3 first-half tries from Cleona Maloney MacDonald, setting them on their way, and 4 in the second half. Rule, Claudia Maloney MacDonald, and the brace from Maisie Allen, punishing the indiscipline and disorganisation at times from Trailfinders, who got 2 on the board from their Black Ferns, Borland and Ponsonby. It's all 5 points for the Chiefs as they continue to look up the PWR table in chase of Saracens and Gloucester Hartpury. Trailfinders will get themselves ready to head next week to a game against Harlequins on Friday night. It's a final score at Sandy Park of Exeter Chiefs 47, Trailfinders 14. And, well, it's our chance, Susie Appleby, to ask who's impressed you, who is your Built for Athletes player of the match this afternoon?
I think there's some really good performances from Ealing Trailfinders. Maya Roos has continued to impress in terms of their line out and their ability to control that area of the field, and some other individual performances from Ealing Trailfinders. However, you can't look further than Exeter Chiefs, really. That scoreline is very, very impressive. You could say, why is she not giving it to someone that scored a hat-trick? And Clee would agree. You know, we're looking at Flo Robinson here, who has been impressive in terms of her game management, driving the team around the field. She works so well with the pack in front of her. You can hear her, and she's not barking at them, she's organising. She's been integral in terms of the way that they've performed today. Yes, Maisie Allen's been fantastic. She got a brace. Clee Maloney MacDonald was on the end of 3 tries, but that woman in front of you, I think she's been fantastic the last few weeks, and she's echoed it again this week. Flo Robinson is today's player of the match, Built for Athletes.
Well, there we go. The view of Susie Appleby, who will know more than most about the contribution of every position and every player on the field. Flo Robinson, our Built for Athletes player of the match. And, well, if you've come in late to this match, a chance to just look back at how this game unfolded then. 21 points to 7 when the teams came out of the sheds at the break after that hat-trick from Cleona Maloney MacDonald. And it was just, well, there's a bit of that disorganisation we talked about. Loose ball, Amy Rule, first one to jump on it.
Yeah, and that's just desperation to do the right thing for your team. Amy Rule settled in really well here and doesn't get over the line much, but she made that one count.
Georgia Ponsonby, well, she took personal responsibility at the other end a few moments later, and at 26-12 you just wondered if the momentum would stay in favour of Trailfinders, whether they could build their way back into the game. But Menin straight off the bench showing what she does, and Robinson with the kick ahead that was finished by, well, one other in the Maloney MacDonald household.
Yeah, great spatial awareness by Flo, and no doubt communication. See Dalika here breaking through the ruck, which was not marked, and then connecting with her scrum half, and then a lovely little chip over the top finished off by Claudia, who only knows one route to that try line.
Well, at that point, 33-14 with Gabby Cantorna coming on to add the extras, and well, then this was about the option of Emily Robinson that Maisie Allen was never going to take.
Yeah, Maisie Allen's just been fantastic all day. She's doing all the right things. She is very much a bit of the glue of how Exeter Chiefs functions to their best, alongside Emily Robinson, her sister. And she's got over the try line on 2 occasions, but it's not just her getting over the try line, it's her defensive effort, her clearance of rucks, and everything else that she adds value to in a game.
Not too dissimilar a few moments later.
Yeah, I think just as players came onto the field, and this will be the really pleasing thing for Steve and Ollie in terms of the coaching team, the relentlessness that the squad was able to just add points, add value in terms of what they were contributing on the field. And you can see them in the circle there. This is a big squad who will now be very full of confidence at a really important time as they head into Leicester, a trip to Leicester, and then the bye week. But this is a really important 5 points as you see that, you know, that congested area in the middle of the table.
Yeah, and look, that point of the season, second half of the season, last season, when you obviously had that really difficult spell with, I mean, pretty much a starting 15 of injured players, which saw that run of difficult results then in that sort of second half of the season. They came into this with 2 losses, albeit against the top 2. So important they got back on the bike and, with an all-star team coming into their own backyard, made a statement. And certainly, well, 7 tries and all 5 points has done that.
They certainly have, and you're quite right. You make a statement. That's a statement win, 47 points to 14 over a definitely very star-studded Ealing Trailfinders team. And you know, the last season, yeah, we lost our playmakers, we lost Hope Rogers, and there were some significant injuries. But that's the important thing about keeping your players fit, allowing them to rotate and have opportunities to perform on the field. You can see young Zoe Dare coming off the bench and doing a fabulous job, which means that someone like Linda van der Velden doesn't have to play 80 minutes. And that's where you see the evolution. Ealing Trailfinders will build, and they will add value in terms of the strength and depth that they're able to field on every match day 23. But at the moment, Exeter Chiefs are just too strong in every department for the game today.
7 tries to 2 then in this one, and a chance to catch us up with the rest of the results over the course of the weekend, because last night we saw Loughborough Lightning getting all 5 points as Harlequins got a 4-try bonus, 43-33. It was the other way round at the start of the season, with Quins winning by a 10-point advantage, but it was Loughborough who did so last night to keep that top 4 race in check. Then there's a confirmation of our result, 47-14 to Chiefs. That's a live score from Match Early Woods, Welford Road. Leicester Tigers 3, Sale Sharks 24. Molly Wright opening the scoring for the Sharks, with Beatrice Rigoni and Laura Perrin also onto the score sheet. Asia Hogan Rochester also getting the 4th try as that one continues. A slightly later kick-off there. The referee, he had his train cancelled, but they held out and let him get there and get that one underway. And a reminder then, of course, that the big one tomorrow, Saracens 12:30 kick-off against Gloucester Hartpury, a rerun of last year's PWR final, that one live on TNT Sports. So to see how the table is affected by the result in this one, well, there's no change in terms of the position for Exeter Chiefs. They are played 41 points. They, would still have a bit of work to do to overcome those top 2 who are pretty much out there on their own. What it does do, though, is put that key bit of distance between themselves, Harlequins and Trailfinders, because those 2 teams have lost already this weekend. And look at those chasing behind them, Loughborough and Sale Sharks, both, one with a win and one on their way to a victory. So that part of the table is looking hotter and hotter as each round goes. And as for the next couple of matches on the BBC iPlayer, well, look at that one on Friday night. 2 teams who've lost in round 14 who'll both be keen to get back to winning ways next week, and it is at the Stoop on Friday night. You can join me and Rachel Burford, Rugby World Cup winner from 2014, at the Stoop for Harlequins against Trailfinders. That will be an engrossing encounter. And then followed a week later, it is Saracens against Sale Sharks on the 28th of March. That one a Saturday match. Well, Exeter Chiefs only have eyes for the top, and they've done so by scoring 7 tries this afternoon at Sandy Park. It's been great to have your company and the company of Susie Appleby. Chiefs on the way again in the PWR. From all of us, a very good afternoon.